Good evening, Laguna Creek Cardinals. This is Mark Benson, extremely proud principal of Laguna Creek High School. And it is 6:30, and we are going to start our senior parent night for the graduating class of 2023. I thank everyone for attending this evening and bearing with the number of schedule changes that occurred for this meeting. We originally scheduled on a date, and then due to the football issue with refs, we had to move it. And then there was another conflict regarding a CSU meeting, and we wanted our senior families to be able to attend that. So then we did a second pivot, and here we are on the 28th on this fine evening. So the presentation provides an opportunity for some Q&A. So on your screen, on the upper right-hand corner, it should be, you'll see like a Q&A with a couple of bubbles and a question mark. If you click that, you will be able to send us questions, and then we will answer them via the chat. Or if they are popular questions and we get a lot of them, we'll go ahead and answer them within the presentation. So joining me this evening, we have our activities director, Mr. Haynes, and our head counselor, Ms. Sievertson, to go over the activities information, some counseling information regarding graduation requirements. And then I will be reviewing just briefly about athletics, what we have to offer, and the clearing process for that. And then I will also be sort of emceeing the event. So if you do have any questions that come up, I will interject in the presentation and ask that question on your behalf. I encourage you to ask questions. This is the opportunity, if you have anything that you need answered, have questions about as we go through the presentation, to please take a moment, send those our way so that we can answer them for you. This event is being recorded, so I'm pulling the file down at the end of the evening, do a little work with it, and then I will send out a link to the video so you can refer to it at a later date. I do encourage you to stay online though, because the questions that come up may spur questions of your own, and you may want to ask something that you really, well, you could do it on watching the recording, you just won't get a response. So make sure that if you have questions and you want a unique answer or something scenario based, let us know and we will try to help you out. So with that, I want to go ahead and move on to our counseling part of the evening. And Ms. Sievertson, the floor is yours.
All right, welcome everyone. So on this slide, you'll see an overview of graduation requirements. Counselors will be communicating with all their students about the remaining grad requirements left, as well as parents and students can access that information by going to Student View, Parent View, look under course history, and you'll be able to see a copy of the unofficial transcript, so you can go through and review with your students the remaining grad requirements. If there's any point in that review where you have questions about what is remaining, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So some of the highlights, students need to have 220 credits for graduation. Many of your students, if they have been on track and passing their classes, they're going to have over 220 because they take 320 credits while they're here with us at Laguna Creek High School. They do need to pass all the required subjects, and you'll see those areas to the left in English, math, science, social science, etc., and the various different subjects. So if you have questions, let us know. All students need to pass technology proficiency. Then number 4 is a graduation requirement that it has actually expanded. So for many years here in Elk Grove, all seniors had to take and pass 10 credits of a senior math class. And that is one option that they can do to meet the senior validating experience, but Elk Grove actually expanded that for students. So if your student has already taken and passed 30 credits of math and they're on a 30-30 plan, some students take 30 credits of math, 30 credits of science, some take 40 credits of math, 20 credits of science. Again, if you're unsure which plan your student is on, that's a good reach out to your counselor to follow up with that. But passing and taking a senior math class is one of the options. Another thing the student can do is taking and passing an AP or an IB course here on campus at either level, year 1 or year 2. The student does not have to test in that course, though if they're taking a second year, we highly encourage them to do that. We do not offer a junior ROTC program here at Laguna, so that's not an option for our students, but Avid Senior Seminar is. So if your student has been an Avid student all the way through and they are taking that Avid Senior Seminar, that will also count as a validating experience. If they're taking a career technical education capstone course, so if your student is part of an academy, so Sports Careers Academy, Green Energy, MPTA, completing out our computer science, our digital art or digital photography classes, if they're taking the third course in that series, that will also satisfy that. If your student is on track to meet CSU UC A through G eligibility, they can meet the validating experience with that, as well as if they're on track to earning a seal of biliteracy. We will be sending more information out about that. Generally, students who are on track to meet a seal of biliteracy are currently enrolled in a second year of an IB language. So they're an IB Spanish SL2. And then there are a series of other requirements that they have to meet the overall seal of biliteracy. Again, many of your students will meet many of these categories. And if you're unsure where your student falls, please reach out. All counselors have communication about where your student is in progress on those things. But if you have questions, come see us. And our first class to experience the validating experience was last year as one of the options. The other thing too that has been brought back, it's been a requirement for a long time in Elk Grove, but to participate in the graduation ceremony in May, students do need to pass 35 out of 40 credits. There were a couple years where we gave students a little bit of a leeway and a follow-up for COVID, but this year all seniors need to essentially pass 7 out of their 8 classes. So even if those are not requirements for graduation, the goal is for seniors to still pass those classes with at least a D- or above. We hope better for them, but we definitely want them to be at that passing mark. Next. Okay, for senior meetings. So all counselors have a way in which we reach out to students to communicate to them 2 major things that we want them to know before they exit us here at Laguna Creek. One, we want to make sure that they know exactly what they need to do to attain the high school diploma, because number 1 goal is to have 100% of our students walking the stage, getting their diploma. And if they don't receive their diploma in May of 2023, that they know exactly what their options are to be able to finish that up. The second thing that we really focus on is our students connected to the next steps, because we know that a high school diploma is a piece of the process, but then we also need to expand that for students to connect them to further training to get into a job that they want, that's going to give them the life that they want. So that could be community college, could be four-year college, vocational school, getting out into the workforce, lots of different options. So counselors will be connecting with your students about that information, as well as we send lots of tools and resources via Synergy Mail and our Counseling Google Classroom for students to be able to access those things. If there's ever something your student is interested in that you feel like you're not getting a lot of information about, definitely reach out to us so that we can give you that information. Next. Again, those college career planning resources. So we have many tools on applying to the University of California. So that application is actually open now. Your students can submit starting this weekend on October 1st. That's an earlier deadline than it has been for years. California State University schools, their application opens up this weekend, October 1st. So that's a big, this weekend is a big one for students applying to those schools. Those deadlines are November 30th. Private and out of state are going to have a huge variation, but we have lots of great resources on that. Community college is a little bit wider timeline. So the application for starting in fall of 2023 will actually open up in November. Community college application is not an acceptance or denial. Students are going to go in, add their information. So I generally encourage students, if they're even considering community college, to go in, get that application going, get it started, because if they opt for a 4-year or some other choice later, they aren't committed to the community college until they go in and pick classes and pay fees. So we'll send lots of great information about that. Our career tag here at Laguna Creek is Maria Almeida. please look for her an email because she sends out so many fantastic resources for everyone via Synergy Mail about our college visits. We get lots of representations of different schools who come on campus where students can listen to talks, get information, get advice on how to do the applications, financial aid, which are all really good resources. So check out that Career Center website, look for Maria Almeida's name, and email. The district has also put together a Senior Central website. So if you click on that link, it'll take you to a one-stop shop that'll have all of the resources that Elk Grove has for connecting to college, career, financial aid, anything that you can use to help that. California Colleges is also a good tool. So all the students, if they log into their Chromebook, they're going to log into their portal and they have little icons that essentially look like apps where they can click on California Colleges. Lots of tools and resources. The most helpful one, I think, is for CSU and UC applications, because if they launch their application through California Colleges, it will actually download their transcript information, which can save them a lot of time and energy. I always encourage students to proofread that and make sure that it is accurate all the way through, but another really good tool and resource. So financial aid, I know that paying for college can often be a stressor and definitely a discussion within families. One of the first places to start is to fill out that free application for financial student aid. That also opens up this weekend on October 1st. Essentially what that does is FAFSA doesn't give you financial aid, but it collects your family's financial data so that the schools that you decide to go to, and I use that word schools loosely because again, it's not just universities, that's your community college, your vocational training programs are going to use that database essentially to put financial aid packages together. So it's definitely helpful for all families. It also is the tool that community college use for that grant for free tuition. So even if you're thinking, I don't know, my oldest son went through college, we weren't eligible for financial aid, to get that free grant to attend community college tuition free, you do need to go in and do the FAFSA. So they're not going to log you out if your income is too high, you'll be eligible for it, but the FAFSA is the gatekeeper for that. So initially what you need to do is go in and create an FSA ID. Your student needs an FSA ID and one parent needs an FSA ID that goes with that application. So again, the universities and colleges will use that to put together their scholarship and financial aid information. Miss Almeida sends out all the private scholarship information that comes through our office, and she'll send that out through Synergy Mail. So please check that frequently, because sometimes it can have very short deadlines. They send it to us and it's due on Friday. Sometimes it's longer, but financial aid and scholarships are kind of one of those things where students need to apply a lot because there's a lot of competition out there. So definitely look for those tools and resources. And then lastly, we have a Cash for College workshop on December 1st. We'll send you more information out. It'll be done in a web format like this, where they will actually go through it line by line. There'll be experts there, breakout rooms where you can go through it. So even if you've partially completed the FAFSA, if you want to hold on to it, you want to have somebody double check it, you want to wait to that time period, because the FAFSA is not due until March 2nd. So you have plenty of time to go in and attend a workshop if you need some help. And then for your seniors closing out the year, all of our seniors complete a senior survey for us. This gives us an idea of what their next steps are and their plans in the next stage of their journey. We also have a senior awards night, which happens in May, and we try to honor a diversity of students on campus. So you'll get invites that'll be sent to families for students to be able to attend that in May. And then students at the end too will do a final transcript request. And then I will throw in this part as well. For many of college applications, students do not submit an official transcript with their application. So typically they turn in the application, and then colleges generally want that first transcript in January because they want to see grades from the first semester of senior year. So students will typically request a official transcript in January, and then there's a final transcript request that they give to Ms. Krebs, and there's actually a form that they'll do an advocacy in which they send it to her once they've made their choices. And if for some reason students make their choices later, so they haven't made the decision yet in May, Ms. Krebs is available in the summer and all year for students to be able to request an official transcript. So if anyone has questions or if you have follow-up stuff, again, I don't want any senior or senior parent to be in the dark about what your remaining requirements are or what the tools are for your next steps. So please don't hesitate to reach out to your student's counselor. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So for the next few minutes, we're going to run through some general athletic information. So our fall sports are already going on. We have our football, tennis, girls volleyball, girls golf. That's going on right now. Posted a lot of images and updates on those sports. In the winter, coming up on the 31st of October, we tip off with our basketball, and then we're on the pitch with our girls and boys soccer, and then we hit the mat with our wrestling team. So those are our winter sports. Obviously, we encourage students to be risk takers and try sports that maybe they haven't tried before, and hopefully they'll find something interesting as they move on, maybe into university and college. So those are our winter athletics that are coming up. Our spring sports starts in February, and you see those listed on the screen. Again, a lot of opportunities for students to participate. They do need to make sure that they have their physical form and concussion form filled out, and those documents can be picked up by our athletic director's office. And you could always email me and I could help out acquiring those forms. And there is a clearance process for our kiddos when they're participating. So the website's right there, athleticclearance.com. Accounts need to be created, and you take care of your physical online there. You need a GPA of 2.0 during the grading period prior to the tryout. So we want to make sure students are doing well academically to ensure that they're able to participate. And not only in terms of academics, but making sure that our kids are punctual and on time. Our no-go list is applicable to our athletes and our extracurricular activities. So students that are participating in our athletics, we want them to be sure that they're maximizing their time in class so that they're successful. So that no-go list is applicable to that. But I think we'll be in good shape with our seniors. And when it comes to our winter sports, the clearing process starts after our progress report. So October 7th is the end of the grading period. And then it takes about 10 days or so to take care of all those grades and process them. And then our athletic director will begin clearing students to be able to participate. So there will be information regarding the end of grading period for this progress report number 2 in my newsletter that I'll dispatch in the next day or two. But we are coming up on about halfway through semester 1, and from what I've heard and seen in the classrooms, the academics and the expectations are ramping up. So I encourage our seniors to ask questions, be proactive, participate in their learning, and talk to their teachers so that they put themselves in the best possible position to be able to participate on the athletic field, and also as we go forward through university and preparing themselves for the next stage. Now I'd like to go ahead and pass the mic over to our activities director, Mr. Haynes, who's going to close out our presentation with an overview of our activities. Mr. Haynes, the mic is yours.
Thank you, sir. Great to be here. Thank you, everybody, for showing up this evening. The first slide you see in here, we were supposed to have a senior picnic a few weeks ago, but unfortunately, due to the lack of substitutes in the district, we have to postpone that. We're hoping to get that taken care of and planned out for March. Hopefully by then we'll have plenty of subs to cover the classes needed to have this event. We do have a homecoming dance. It's homecoming week this week. We have a homecoming football game on Friday. We have a rally tomorrow and a homecoming dance this Saturday from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. in our main gym. Sales are really going strong at this time. We are expecting to have close to 800 students at this event. It should be a fun time for all. So you have 2 more opportunities to purchase tickets at school. Thursday and Friday, and at the door for $20. But if you buy the tickets during school, it's either $10 with an ASB card or $15 without. We do have a Disneyland trip planned. We have sold 2 buses full already. We will. I will try to reserve a 3rd bus to get that trip going for any students who wants to attend. But for the 3rd bus, we will have to wait to see if we have enough students to fill that bus in order to pay for it, because the price of gas and the price of buses are extremely high this year. So there'll be more information passed out to your students soon via Synergy on that email. We have prom in April this year, April 15th. The tickets for that will go on sales probably at the beginning of 2023, so in January. One other activity coming up starting next week is Powder Puff football. It's not on here. Athletics runs this. It's a great fundraiser. If your students are interested in that, there are permission slips available in the student store. Cap and gown distribution. We have some things coming up. Expect an email here in the next week or week and a half on purchasing your cap and gown. I'll go over that in a little more details in the future slides. But the cap and gown distribution is, in April, but we'll be ordering that here very soon, next month in October. Next slide. And of course, in the spring, once we get to May, we got Senior Awards Night. We discussed that earlier. Senior finals are around this time, May 16th and 17th, Tuesday, Wednesday. On that Wednesday, before we graduate, we'll have a senior goodbye rally. And then the 17th, the Thursday, we do a senior walk. More information will follow in the next slide here on that, what the senior walk is. And then on that Friday, the 5/19, we'll have a senior breakfast and a mandatory graduation practice. From 9:15 to 11:30, there's a graduation practice. Breakfast will be provided free of charge before that. Graduation on Monday, May 22nd, 7 p.m. It's over at Golden One Center. Of course, we will pass out, distribute lots of information as this event gets closer. And then the next day after graduation, students will have to come back to the campus to pick up their diploma. Slide, sir. So what the senior walk is in the spring, it's a fantastic tradition we have here at Laguna Creek High School. Students have the opportunities to visit one of their feeder schools. If they went to one of our local feeder schools, Mary Mix, Sims, Folks Ranch, Donner, Earhart, okay, they'll be able to visit those schools and Harry to Eddie Middle School. Even if students did not attend these elementary schools or junior high, it's a fantastic event for all of our students. Everybody who attends, it's not mandatory, but everybody who attends has a great time. It allows them to go back and see where they started, at the kindergarten level and all the way through. And then we end up that day back at Laguna Creek High School and we walk the halls one more time. It's a fantastic event. It's a wonderful tradition, and it's one of the favorite events at the end of the school year. And then, of course, as far as the senior breakfast goes, again, the senior breakfast is free of charge. Okay, it's provided by the Laguna Lions Club. They come out and make pancake breakfast for us. It's awesome. It just kind of gets the students here on time, so we can start right at 9:15 for the graduation rehearsal. In years past, students received 6 free graduation tickets. I assume it's going to be the same, but I have yet to have a meeting with our district office to hammer out all the details on that. Additional tickets can be purchased starting in May for $10 each. The graduation at Golden One is a beautiful, fantastic event. We do not run out of tickets. It's a well-oiled machine there. With the staff at Golden One, we have 3 graduations there per day for the district. We are able to get in the 9 high schools in 3 days. It's really fantastic. Next slide, sir. Okay, the cap gallon tassel order coming up on October 17th that week. Jostens has designated that week to really focus on our school and take care of all of our orders for our students. The cap, gown, and tassel package starts at $27. If the longer we wait on this purchase, the price does go up. So in January, it'll go up more, and then it'll go up more towards the end. So please be aware of that. We want to get these ordered as soon as possible for $27. It's a great deal. We offer also gently used caps and gowns. Okay, if they want to borrow one, and that is free of charge. It's the same process as purchasing a cap and gown on the Jostens website, and I will part of that email I'm going to send out on Synergy. It'll have a step-by-step process on how to purchase your cap and gown and or borrow a cap and gown. So either way, whether you purchase it or borrow it, the cap, gown, and tassels will be handed out to our students mid to late April during lunchtime. So the same time, that day when they show up, we'll pass out all the caps and gowns. We'll take care of all the issues. Students will all get them at the same time, whether you purchased or borrowed. Graduation again. Golden One Center. We have the students arrive at 5:45. We want to get there early so we can find the student entrance. We'll get them inside in the tunnels an hour early before the ceremony begins. And again, the ceremony it lasts. It's under 2 hours. Oftentimes, it's about an hour and 40 minutes. Senior grad night, also very important. We've already started selling senior grad night tickets. Senior grad night tickets is a great tradition here as well. The cost is $100, and it takes care of everything from transportation to and from the event, food and beverage on the night, raffle prizes, bowling, games. Sometimes they have a hypnotist there, henna tattoos. They have all sorts of activities for our students. And what's great about this senior grad night is that for that one, the most important night of our children's lives is that graduation. And we want to make sure that we know exactly what our kids are doing, where they're at, and know that they are safe that night. I personally have sent, both of my kids to this event, and I have a senior as well this year, and she'll be going to this as well. It's a great night. Again, it starts at 10 o'clock. They'll bus the kids from Laguna Creek High School to the event and back to Laguna Creek High School. So $100. The early we can get our tickets purchased, the more things our PTSO, our Booster Club, is able to reserve and start planning out the event. Okay, so it's I would appreciate if you plan on sending your kid. I think it's already sold like 75 students already purchased tickets, which is well ahead of last year. It'll be a great evening. And it still gives us a little bit of time to visit with our students after. I know that if we were to get out at a graduation at 9 o'clock, it's kind of like come home, pack your stuff, and get going here. With that time slot at the graduation, what I've done in years past is taking my child out to dinner before graduation, and then go to graduation, and then back into senior grad night. So you can purchase those tickets in the front in our front office. You can drop off cash or check, or if you want to pay by credit card, please go to the school website. You can pay via credit card on that. Senior portraits, if you haven't done so already, please get your senior portraits taken care of through Prestige. Prestige is local. It's over there by the bowling alley. It's close to get to, but we need to get those photos taken in order to get your child's face in our yearbook. Again, you have until December to get that photo shoot done. It is free of charge. If you just want to go in and take one photo for the yearbook, your child will have a photo in the yearbook. If you want to pay a few extra bucks, I think it's like $20, you can sit there and take multiple photos, and your student will be able to choose which photo goes in the yearbook. But the different prices, they have different packages. Please go to prestigeportraits.com to look into that. And if you have any further questions, you'll be able to call them and talk with a representative. Yearbook, please purchase your yearbook on jostens.com. It's the same place you're going to purchase your caps and gowns in a few weeks. You can go in there, purchase your caps and gowns and the yearbook at the same time. Current price is $55, and the prices will go up to $60 in January. Where do you purchase? I see a question over there, a few questions in the chat about where do you purchase your tickets for the Sober Grad Night. Again, front office. You can pay cash or check in the front office, or go to our school website, Laguna Creek's website, and you'll see a link on there for Booster Club to purchase your Sober Grad Night tickets.
Mr. Haynes, there's a question. Oh, sorry, there's another question in here regarding senior packages.
Yeah, the senior package does not include the grad night. Senior package includes your class T-shirt, your ASB card, the trip to Disneyland, and also your prom in April. So the senior ball. Yes. So as far as the photo goes, if you go in, like we receive the photos from Live Touch for the yearbook. It's not something that you have to walk over and give to our yearbook staff. We will receive the photos from Prestige for the yearbooks. Are babies free for graduation? Yeah, it's usually anybody that doesn't require a seat. Offhand, I do not remember the exact age. 3 or above, or 2 or above do need tickets. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that and pass that information out as we get closer to graduation. But as far as babies are definitely free at graduation. Very good.
Question about T-shirt. I'm not sure what you mean by T-shirt.
Yeah, so as far as the senior T-shirts, we do have them available in the student store, where you can buy anything from PE clothes to sweatshirts to Laguna Creek spirit wear, and senior T-shirts are available there as well.
All right, so we've been answering quite a few questions. I appreciate everyone participating and asking questions as we've gone through here. If you do have specific questions regarding your student status, graduation status, senior payment plan status, you want to be sure that to reach out to the school. So if it has to do with graduation, your student's counselor can assist you with the academic status and senior payment plan and making sure that that's all taken care of. Our site controller, Miss Alvarado, can help you with that as well to make sure everyone's caught up. We want to make sure that we obviously provide an enriching and meaningful educational experience for our seniors and all our kids, but academics are a critical part, but we know that the activities and the friendships and the experiences that are had during their senior year as they're closing out their time with us are very important. So we want to be here to support that. If you do have any other questions, general questions regarding graduation, we are available. You can reach out to myself, Mr. Haynes, or Ms. Severson via Synergy, and we will either answer the question or make sure that we put you in the right direction to be able to answer that question for you. Now, there's a question in the chat regarding the senior portraits. Can you view the cost of the portraits prior to setting up the appointment? You want to take a look at that website because the cost of the packages has changed. So they should list them there, but you can get the yearbook photo done at no cost. So you could go in there without any fee to take a look at the other packages and then at least take a senior portrait that is included in the yearbook at no cost. So you want to make sure you do that so you could get your student's photo in the yearbook. Now, Jerry, there's a couple questions in here. One, Disneyland. Can students join the Disneyland trip on their own and meet folks down there?
Yeah, I'm not in charge of students' play dates. So students want to go somewhere on their own time, they can go somewhere on their own time.
So they're down there on their own and they're not part of our field trip. So the cost and the travel and everything, that's up to the family and the student. So they're not part of our field trip if they decide to do that. Yeah, you're welcome. I appreciate you logging on. Thank you, as always. There is another question in here regarding graduation tickets. If I recall correctly, we give 6 tickets available for families. Is that what you heard for this year?
I haven't heard anything yet for this year. I haven't had a meeting on graduation with the district office, but the norm has been 6 free graduation tickets, and parents are allowed to purchase any amount in tickets after that. So I assume it's going to be 6 tickets, but I just haven't had any confirmation yet.
Okay, so once we hear finalized information regarding the graduation, you will be receiving several emails from myself and Mr. Haynes regarding that. So I anticipate it being the same, but if there are any changes, we'll send out communication promptly so you have that. And right around January and February, you can expect an email from me regarding the process for graduation, specifically outlining the adornment process. Students are allowed one personal item on their cap, or their gown, I should say, not their cap, but their gown. And in January, February, I send out the guidelines and the process for getting those items approved so that your student can have that one cultural or personal significant adornment on their gown. So be ready for that as well. All right, looks like that wraps up our questions. I appreciate everyone asking questions and logging in this evening. If you do have any other questions, feel free to reach out. The emails are on the screen there. I will be compiling this video and I'll send this out to all of our senior families. So be checking in on your center Gmail or your personal email address. And that should come out in the next day or two. All right, so with that, everyone, I want to go ahead and sign off. Thank you, and I wish all of our Cardinals a good night and look forward to seeing our students tomorrow morning.